What's going on, everybody? See if anybody joins the chat. I am going to be painting some Space Marine eyeballs. So I'll hang out here and wait and see if anybody jumps on in. Gotta find a pointy brush here. See, somebody joined. I'm going to be working on some, basically just painting some Space Marine eyes. Just going to be quite, maybe a little more difficult sitting this direction with the camera, but because all my lights are kind of set up for over here, but should be okay. If you have any questions or anything, go ahead and put them in the chat. I'll be hanging out for a while. The whole idea of this is I'm going to be basically trying to knock out a bunch of half-finished projects that have been sitting on my desk here for some time now. What up, Eric? How about that AdMech? Can't wait for those horse riders. Yeah, they look awesome. All the new AdMech stuff, I love it. I think it all looks really cool. I like anything when they make for AdMech as long as they keep it really weird. I just think that's good for the army as a whole. Keeping them weird looking, I think, is always a good time. I probably won't be buying any of the new AdMech stuff for a while because I would really like to get some Eldar on the table and play them. And if I buy the AdMech kits, they're just going to be sitting in a closet. So, yeah. I can't remember. I can't remember if you still have your mustache or not. Your cop stash. No buy because Corona. Now, the coronavirus hasn't really necessarily affected me. I have been doing self-quarantine, though. I guess this would be like day 2. I was really debating on still going to the gym, but they closed the gyms, so I had made that decision for me. But I figured maybe I could play it safe with like hand sanitizer and stuff and still do the gym. But it turns out it doesn't matter because they shut it down. So what I'm using here for my Space Marine eyes, it's open now, but this is the Tamiya Clear Blue X23, I guess. It's almost, if you were using like GW, you could use like one of their gemstone paints. It's like a really goopy gloss blue. I think they still make those gemstone paints. If not, if you don't have this, Gilliam and Glaze would work okay, or whatever your most blue contrast paint, so like a Talisar blue contrast. And all we're doing is, you probably can't see, but you're gonna, oh yeah, you definitely can't see. Anyway, I paint the Space Marine eyes, basically the brightest silver I have, and then I just put a little thin layer of this blue over, and hopefully it gives it an effect of like a blue lens. And also, it is kind of naturally leaves the center and stuff a little highlighted. I've actually been getting, even though I'm not going to the gym, I'm trying to really up my at-home workout, I guess, to try to maintain or lose weight or whatever during the self-imposed quarantine. So I think it'll be possible to lose weight during this, not gain it. So that'll be cool. Got my big blended up spinach smoothie there. So I had a salad for dinner. I did eat a little bit of a candy bar though. Not ideal for weight loss. Oh yeah, this is definitely going to be a little more difficult with doing it over here instead of over there in the light. But we're going to make it work. Are you still working, Eric? Or are you working from home? When I went and got my eyes checked at the doctor, Eric works there, so that's cool. So he works at the same optometrist, I guess, or whatever you call it. I don't know. Small world. Oh, man, he's out of work for a week. Yeah. I always try to tell people that I'm saving up for retirement and early retirement and trying to become completely financially independent where work is totally optional. And I think after this coronavirus situation, more people are going to maybe look into it. So I think that's a good thing. Because if you don't have money saved up and something like this happens, wow. I mean, that's going to be scary. Hopefully you have some money saved in your bank or something. And also, if you do have extra money, yeah, I was just going to bring that up. If you do have extra cash, it's a really good time to be buying stocks right now. I'm not a financial expert, but I've been dumping a lot of money into the stock market and expecting that it will recover like it basically always has in the past. And life will go on and be good. So, have you bought any specific companies there, Eric? Even just buying something like Ford, it's like $4 a share right now. It's not going to make you a ton of money, but it's going to pay you a dividend. It'll probably be around for a very long time. My go-to for the bulk of my investing is ETFs and the Vanguard Total Stock Market, which is a little bit of everything, which basically guarantees over a long enough period of time, it's only going to go up unless the world ends, in which case money probably won't be valuable anyway. And I know that's probably oversimplifying it, but anyway, the Vanguard Total Index is, I believe, what the stock is called. It's my main holding, and it is VTI on the stock market. Also, if you check out, even just check out like MGM. Right now, all the casinos are closed in Las Vegas. So if you check out like MGM or Caesars or Sands, they're all like super down because of the closures, I guess. So I expect they'll recover. And if you look just like 3 months ago, they were all like $50 a share. Now they're like $8 a share. So it's a really good time to buy. Yeah, I don't think I have any interest in Star Wars Legion. I'm pretty burnt out on Star Wars. Doesn't seem, I don't know. Star Wars kind of lost me at the Adam Driver one. By then I really didn't care anyway. But when I watched that one, I realized I really didn't care at all. Although I thought Rogue One was pretty cool. But yeah, get those painted. If you are working on Stormtroopers at all, I don't think I have it over here. Get that Death Shroud clear. It's the GW Airline Death Shroud clear. It's freaking awesome for black lining models and stuff. It's like a clear black paint, kind of like a Nuln Oil maybe, but it doesn't stain the surface. So you can basically put it right over top of a white armor or gray armor, and it'll just sink in and shade all your recesses and leave the top of your armor white. which is awesome. It's definitely the kind of the kind of paint though that you want to like varnish or just to unify the finish, because it does have a bit of a gloss finish to it. So spray it with like a matte coat. Yeah, it's called Death Shroud Clear from Citadel. If Outpost was open, I would bring it in Friday, but Death Shroud Clear. It's Citadel Airline from the airbrush paints. It's a black clear, and you can just paint it over everything. It'll just settle in the recesses like Nuln Oil, except it doesn't stain the surface like Nuln Oil. Yeah, it's at Outpost. Here is the purple clear. So this is Eidolon Purple Clear. I haven't actually used this one yet, but the black one is so good. Like using it for, I don't think it's really similar to using almost like an oil wash. Like if you just want a general kind of darken up all the shadows of a miniature or all the recesses, you can just wipe that all over it. And it just kind of finds its way, just like how a wash does. But because of its, I guess, kind of glossy nature, it does not necessarily stain. Like if you put black, or if you put Nuln Oil over a white armor, you'll get like a gray armor, a dark gray armor, because it stains it. But not when you use Death Shroud Clear. So it's super cool. I love it. I've gotten, I think, like 5 people to buy it already at Outpost. I've been thinking about making a video on it because when these clear paints, the Citadel Air Clear line, basically replaced, I think, all the like glaze line, which were like the Lamenter's glaze and the Gilliman's glaze. But they never mentioned it. They never put them in a video. They never, like, as far as I can tell, they've never been on Warhammer TV. They just kind of went under the radar because they came out the exact same time as the contrast paints. So basically all the contrast paints came out. They got all the great reviews and recognition and advertising. And these ones just nobody was told about, I guess. And I don't, like, the black one works perfect for darkening in the darkest areas and putting like black lining basically. So I'm not sure about like all the other colors, although I did buy the purple and I intend to use it on something, maybe a monster or something. But it should be a pretty cool effect, even with the colored ones. And they have them in like, basically think of them as like a glaze. They have them in like all the colors: blue, green, black, purple, red, yellow, orange, I think. Are you painting right now or just sitting at home watching TV? I'm trying to use this time, I guess, in the world. Not like, I mean, I've worked from home always anyway, so it's fine. I have all the time in the world, I guess. But I'm trying to use this time. Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm trying to use this time to get, I guess, all my projects, like this little squad of Space Marines has been like 75%, 80% done for like 2 months. So now I'm just going to put a few of the finishing touches, base them. The bases are all done. Just been sitting here for those same 2 months. And just base them and get them in the case and get them out of the way. And they're not 100% done, like all the pouches and stuff, but done enough because I just don't care about them right now. I just want to get them basically off the paint queue. Then I'll do the same. I got these Rumble Slam guys that I'm going to be finishing up. This like clown team. And I got their bases done. Let's see if we can see that. Oh yeah, that's kind of cool. Kind of shows up. You can see the blood reflecting there. But yeah, so anyway, that's for Rumble Slam. They're like clown wrestlers. So we're gonna finish them. Got some more cars to finish. Dire Avengers. Basically, and I'm gonna finish a board game, and then once all of that's done, I think I'll have, I guess the focus to like maybe just, yeah, I don't think eating pie and cookies is gonna be the ultimate weight loss secret. No, I don't pay attention to Infinity at all. I'm not really like a fan of anime stuff. I don't know why, but I guess Eldar's kind of anime, and I love Eldar, but like I don't like Tau. I don't think they're very cool at all. Like the models, it's just not my style, I guess. Oh God, I just really gooped up some paint on this thing. Oh well. I actually bought a can of the Gray Sear, the GW primer, which I've never bought before. I've used the Chaos Black a long time ago, but I bought that Gray Sear contrast paint primer, and it's pretty cool. Like, especially for these little board game miniatures I've been painting, it made it really quick. Just spraying them and then hitting them with contrast paint. Kind of enjoyed it. Right now I'm using Clear Red from Tamiya or Tamiya, but it's not covering as good as it used to, so I'm just trying to stir it with a little stick. Yeah, I've been actually really into a lot of the smaller games lately. I guess I've always kind of been, I like bouncing, play like some 40K and then Blood Bowl and then maybe some 40K. Used to play fantasy, mostly just fantasy all the time. But now, even after just like a month of 40K, I feel like I don't know, not as interested in it anymore. And then I take, then we, play a board game, or right now we're doing Gaslands, and then maybe we'll go back to it. But yeah, so like a little skirmish game. Just put rubbing alcohol in my mouth. Skirmish game actually be pretty cool. It might be something I'd be interested in. All right, so this red paint is not doing what it used to do. Oh, maybe. Oh, well, like I said, we're just trying to knock these Space Marines out, get them off the paint table, and move on with our lives. Talked about it before, but sometimes I feel like I lack like the killer instinct when it comes to finishing models. I'll let models sit at like 50, 75% finish for months when it really would only take another hour or so to just complete them. But I get in that like analysis paralysis kind of mode of like, oh, do I want that pouch to be light brown or dark brown? That kind of stuff. Oh yeah, metal models suck. I can't even, if they're all coming out in metal, I don't even know if I would, maybe, I don't know. The metal models suck. When you got the joy of like Games Workshop plastic, most other materials I feel like are not nearly as good. But like whenever I have to paint like an old metal GW model, like just cleaning the mold lines and all of that is just such a pain. And then you got to be extra like over the top and like priming them and varnishing them and stuff because they chip so easy. Well, it would be the same. I mean, the metal or plastic is going to be the same, except you got to make sure you varnish it or whatever, at least dull coat it at once, at least just to prevent chipping because they're so prone to chipping. But on the table, it won't actually make any, you won't see it as like a metal model anymore. What I hate about it is just, well, I don't like carrying them around. I don't like storing them because of the way they paint chips. They're heavy. Back when we used to have huge fantasy armies of like all metal models, we used to carry them in metal tool cases. And oh man, those were heavy boxes. Plus, the secret, all you need is Death Shroud Clear, and then you'll be fine. You'll be at the painting level you dream of with your new Death Shroud Clear. With all the closing of hobby stores and stuff, like game rooms and whatnot, I almost feel like I should go in and buy something. Like go in and buy some paints or something. Because I'm sure Outpost is losing a ton of business. Because not only do, I think most people probably buy their stuff, when they're already down there playing. Maybe not. Or, impulse buys of like, oh, if we were both sitting there at the paint table right now and I was like, hey, you should check out Death Shroud Clear, you might walk over to the register and pick it up. But with them being closed, they're probably losing out on a lot of that business. Or, obviously they're not closed, but the painting and gaming area is. Oh, you've been by? Another cool thing about Death Shroud Clear, this will be just the Death Shroud Clear episode. It's like it's a gloss wash, basically, I guess. I don't know. I'm not explaining it, but think of it as kind of like a gloss wash. So actually, by coating your model in it, it's almost like a gloss varnish layer with the effect of black lining. And then you would go in and, of course, dull coat or satin coat it because a lot of times really whatchamacallit? Oh, glossy models just don't look that good. All right, I actually am going to switch over to Waystone Green from GW, although I do have Clear Green from Tamiya, but I haven't actually used the Waystone Green in a while, so we're going to check that out. Yeah, it works so good it would work so good on those. Well, I know it works really good on Stormtroopers because Roger was painting there, and I showed him the Death Shroud Clear, and he loved it and immediately bought it and started using it. And then he was showing Don, who was painting his Stormtroopers, and then Don went and bought it a couple days later, and so on. So those little, I don't know what they're called in Star Wars, but the way they have their armor panels, like even probably on the Clone Warriors and stuff, I think it would look really effective. I think, we got like a couple little wrist screens we got to paint. One thing with those Tamiya clears, which I might as well show the whole family. I also have orange. They sell these over at Andy's Hobby Headquarters on like 59th and Greenway. And last time I was there, though, he has the big ones. And then I got the little one at, I think, Hobby Bench on 43rd and Bell. So they have the little ones there, and you can get the big ones at Andy's. They say acrylic paint and stuff, but I always seem to have to use rubbing alcohol to clean my brush when I use those, which isn't a huge deal. I just put it in a little water bottle cap. But like it gunks up. If you put that Tamiya clear on your brush and put it in water, it will gunk up your brush. So be aware of that if you decide to try out one of those. Ugh, this is not as nearly effective though. So now I'm using the Waystone green technical paint, and it's kind of like a crappy version of those Tamiya paints so far. Although technically it's probably not shaken up enough, but that's okay. Because the goal right now is to finish these little tiny lenses and get these darn Space Marines into the case and out of my way. Now I just gotta check if any of them have little lenses or things on their helmets. All right, I think they're good. I think they're ready for basing. Yeah, I'll have to message Cecil on Facebook or something tomorrow, or maybe one before I go to bed, since he wakes up so early for work, just to see if he's still working. Because I mean, I would assume construction's still going, but I don't know if like 10 or less people is, a suggestion or what, or because his employer could have shut it down if he's at a construction site. All right, I think I need to put that on the Robart spinner thing, but we'll put it away for now. Yeah, I feel like I got super lucky. The timing of this like pandemic panic as far as the stock market goes, because I had the very successful dry brush Kickstarter. So I actually have quite a bit of cash available to put into the stock market right now. So assuming I make smart choices, it'll really benefit me when they recover. But that just reminded me when he said he missed Cecil, because he always talks about he doesn't like the stock market because he doesn't like gambling or whatever. Or I don't know. It's like he thinks it's too much gambling or something along those lines. But I feel like it's going to be a good time to gamble on it. All right, we're going to glue some Space Marines to some bases. One thing with the dry pigment bases, I don't know. To make them look dry, you use the airbrush thinner. So you can mix the dry pigment with the airbrush thinner, paint it on like paint, and then when it evaporates, it looks dry again. Looks really cool, but without pinning my Space Marine's feet, a lot of times they glue to the dry pigment and then pop right off. But we're gonna just deal with it and re-glue them over and over again if we have to, because we're gonna get these guys finished up right now. All right, that's one down. These ones I actually did less of the dry pigment on there because of the problems with them falling off or popping off. They don't glue good. So hopefully it works even better by just not building up that caked on layer of dry pigment. And I assume it should, because I don't see why it wouldn't. It's funny with I've known Cecil for probably like 15 years. Probably longer, actually. Because when I started, like his kids are all grown up now, and they were little tiny kids when I was in there playing back in the day. I think I've known him longer than 15 years. 20 years, probably. Yeah, I turned 35 this year, so I've probably known Cecil for 20 years. Although I took a long break, obviously, as most hobbyists do, is you end up becoming 21 and partying and chasing girls. And then I moved to Vegas to keep partying. So got a nice long break in there from my hobby time. And then I think I've been back in the hobby like 6.5 years now or something. What primer are you using? Do you use Rust-Oleum, or are you using one of the like actual hobby brands? Citadel. Yeah, I got the I hate, like, it's hard to justify the gray sear. Oh, this guy's got a thing on his base. Oh well. I bought that contrast Citadel primer gray sear, and like just the price is pretty hard to justify it. $20 a can. But then almost against my better judgment or whatever, I actually like it. So I'll probably buy it again. Or I might actually buy the Wraithbone and try that one out after this can runs out. Just for, knocking out things you're trying to speed paint or whatever. Yeah, I guess if you're working on stormtroopers and stuff, white would be the way to go. All right, it's nice to see these guys getting on their bases and getting out of the way. Yeah, I basically never prime anything white, so using that just gray sear primer feels kind of weird. But it really, with that plus contrast paints, I really finished like 8 little board game models really, really fast. And then, a series of washes and stuff like that to make them just a little bit cooler. But most of the time I do the airbrush and then zenithal prime with black primer and then white ink, which I'm usually pretty happy with. I started doing that based from a YouTube video I saw, but I'll use the FW white ink in the airbrush over top of the black Stynylrez primer, and it works really well. All right, all my little space marines are, just a couple more. Oh no. Looks like I got one more. I don't know what Red Pill Motown, Red Pill MG Toe. I don't know what that is. Is it like a YouTube thing? I have no idea what that is. I think he actually mentioned something about that before, but I don't know what it is. All right. Here's another pro tip. If you use this super glue, which is really good, the Loctite gel control, make sure you cut this little plastic piece off and get the little tube of glue out when you're done. Because when you think it's empty, there's like a 25% more glue in that thing. So just cut it open, and then you can actually just use the little tube and roll it up and get all. A lot of times I use those little tubes for basing and stuff, just because then I can squeeze out kind of big blobs of it and make sure my rocks and stuff are fully going to be attached. All right, all the space marines are on their bases. They're good enough. During quarantine, I suspected there was more. More what? Looks like it's just me and you, Eric. Me, you, and one random person that also's been watching. Last time I did one of these, quite a few people joined in. It was for the launch of the dry brush. Oh yeah, definitely. This one's brand new and full, but as it gets empty, these sides squeeze in and out real easy. And then I just take the clippers and cut into the gray, like cut right there, and then break it off. And you can get a whole thing out. And then you almost feel sad because you paid $3 or whatever for this tiny little tube of glue. But I don't know. I really like that little applicator. I think it works really good. But also, I have so much super glue. I'll also go to Harbor Freight, and it's probably the same size tube that would be in that actual Loctite. This one's runnier though, but you can get these little 10 packs at Harbor Freight for very cheap. I think they're only a couple bucks, and they're really good for just dumping on when you're like, if you're gluing like cork and stuff to your bases. Like I like to just go with this kind of cheap, kind of runny super glue, slate, tree bark, stuff like that. Because then you can really dump it on there, and the glue's so cheap you don't feel like you're really wasting money or nothing. And you can guarantee you get a strong bond because you use so much super glue. Yeah, I've hardly ever used those little pin vise drills. Some of these Space Marines on the dry pigment base, I was using a paper clip and pinning them to the base, and it definitely increases the chances that they stay on the base instead of just gluing to dry pigment and popping off. But I don't know, it's boring. Or not boring, but it feels tedious to drill little holes and cut paper clips and stuff. Although I should start doing it again. And that means I have to go buy some paper clips because I don't actually think I have any. Oh, time for a green juice break. Oh, that's good. That is good. All right, well, I've been going for about 40 minutes. Got my Space Marines. It's crazy. I felt like I did eyes, scopes, computer screens, and glued them to their bases, and it took 40 minutes. It's crazy how long that took. I got to work on Zach's eliminators. Of course, now with the quarantine, I'm sure there's not a huge rush, but hopefully we'll have them done in a week or so. Got some Gaslands cars. Look at that bad boy. Got the heavy truck. And this little one, which was a toaster, but I put some bits on it. Then I'll have a couple more Gaslands. I lucked out with Gaslands because I have like all these stupid cars down here. I bought like 30 of them. And it's my nephew's birthday coming up. So I think I'm going to actually take about 75% of those and just give them to my nephew. Because I have about, I don't know, once I have about 15 cars painted, I don't think I need any more. I got the Piranha here. He's primed up. But yeah, with the Gaslands, in the beginning, I'm like, I'm going to make 5 cars for all 10 different sponsors. And then you realize, just paint maybe 15 cars and use them for the game. And you probably don't even need 15, really. I think I'm just going to do 15 and then maybe eventually try to sell off a couple of them on eBay. Yeah, you might have to go on eBay for something like that. I'm sure everybody wants. Or, I think there was some kind of little collectible store on Northern that some of the guys went to. Should join the Gaslands Facebook group for Arizona. It's called like Hell's Highway or Devil's Highway, Arizona Gaslands or something. Join that, and Mike and Tim Kalinsky were talking about some hobby or collectible store they went to that had like a bin of like 50-cent damaged Hot Wheels and stuff, which is perfect for Gaslands. The damage just adds to the car. I think the unpainted Gasland or the unpainted Hot Wheels look terrible, I think. They look like Hot Wheels. I think they look pretty cool when they're painted. Although I have seen Mike did one where I think he just matte coated, like used I think he used either the AK Ultra Flat or maybe the Tester's Dull Coat. And he just matte coated the actual Hot Wheel paint scheme. And it looks really cool. Or I can't even say it looks really cool. It looks okay. It would look better if it was painted. But that's just how painting works, I think. Things look better when they're painted. Yeah, I got one here, not a microbus, but I got this big Hot Wheel here. The El Camino with the trailer. And what is that? The camper trailer. So there's actually rules of, there's a team that can have trailers or, there's like war rigs and stuff in the game. But I don't know. I haven't had any motivation to open it up. I don't see my team having one of those anytime soon. So maybe I'll give that one to my nephew too. Yeah. And for gaming, I don't know. Unpainted stuff. I bet even Monopoly would look better painted. Although I've never seen it done. But unpainted Hot Wheels. Ugh. You're talking about 99-cent toy cars. Yeah, they're not going to look that cool. And then does that mean you're not going to glue any? Are you not going to glue any bits onto them? You're just going to use them straight out of the Hot Wheel pack? Because a lot of people, take them apart and put like little wires on the windshields and stuff. But not Eric. He's just going to use 99-cent unpainted Hot Wheels. Everybody's going to say, paint your cars. There's actually, in the campaign, in the book, you get championship points for playing with a fully painted and fully converted team, which is kind of funny. Or not, yeah, like customized, not necessarily converted, but gluing a machine gun on there or whatever. I don't think the clean look is a theme. I think it's the unless the theme is brand new toy Hot Wheels. I think you just like Hot Wheels. Nobody likes unpainted models. And once you're playing Gaslands, that Hot Wheel becomes a model. That's what everybody's making the joke that once you glue the wheels, if you don't glue the wheels, it's a toy. But when you glue the wheels, it becomes a model. Are they going to get beat up just from normal play, wear and tear? Because Hot Wheels are built pretty tough. So I don't think they're going to suffer too much punishment in a normal miniature game. Right now I'm painting some of my Rumble Slam bases here. Guess after this, I'll have to go check out that red pill thing. Although I think I'd rather watch some funny. I imagine it's not funny. Sounds like The Matrix, I guess. No, I don't have any kind of paint journal. Although, for paint journal, are you talking about like, so you know which paints you used on models? Because sometimes I'll use Instagram for that. Or, take a picture of the thing with the paint. But I've kind of been enjoying now just making a new, like, that's one really fun thing about doing the Gaslands cars or board games is you don't actually have to worry about repeating the colors over and over again for an army, like in a big miniatures game. You actually get to just choose your colors from model to model, which adds to the fun of actually painting and not making painting like a chore of just forcing yourself to use the exact same colors and techniques over and over again to make your army match. Yeah, I'm going to go to Outpost tomorrow and buy all the Death Shroud clear. Just because now that everybody's so excited about it, I don't want them to run out during the quarantine like toilet paper. What's your toilet paper situation like? You fully stocked up? When you type that, it actually asked me if I wanted to let you comment that. Thought you were being rude. The YouTube, I guess, censor bot or something. Yeah, I should be good too. Plus, yeah, I was gonna say, plus we got the shower. plastic bags probably would work okay to get the bulk. All right, I think I am gonna shut down the stream here, Mr. Eric. Thanks for hanging out with me while I was doing my Space Marines. Even though I'm trying to just get them done and be done with it, I can't help but notice all the little mistakes and stuff. But oh well, we're gonna put them in the case and never play with them again. Have a good night. I'll probably, who knows how long this shutdown thing's going on, but April probably won't be, the game room probably won't be up and running again until April. And that's assuming it doesn't get worse in Arizona. And if it does, then of course it'll be continually shut down for a long time. So, oh yeah, I got all my bananas and beans and vegetables waiting for me. So, all right, adios.